All right, ladies and gentlemen, what a horrible weekend of football that was, eh? And let me tell you how my day ended. I told you after we were feeling like we were feeling after that. I mean, just completely a numb feeling. Like you said, I could see us clearly. I had my dad's a Colts fan. I could see us clearly losing to the Colts for focus and all that kind of stuff. But on that scale, it left us kind of numb. So I went out to the stadium and I said, oh, it'd be cool to go out there to see the Eagles die. But even that quickly turned on me. I mean, it was just, I can tell you straight up right now, that's the closest I will ever be to a Dallas Cowboy Philadelphia Eagle game. I will never be around that many Philadelphia Eagle fans in my life ever again. Ever. Promise you. We were on the bus, on the train, and you could just see them just start gathering, and they were getting rowdy before the game. And I was sitting there and I was exposing myself because I was being extremely nice to people and giving them my seat and all that kind of stuff. And they were looking, what? That's not an Eagles fan. So I was really nervous. And we got into the stadium and I was like, oh, things are good because this happened. I sat behind a proud Cowboy fan that had enough kahunas to wear the star inside that stadium with all those Eagle fans, and she did it. So I was like, yes, I'm sitting beside her for the game or whatnot. And then like 5 minutes later, this Eagle fan and his son said, hey, y'all in our seats. And they had to move somewhere else, so I'm sitting beside them. And there was like I think there was 4 people with Cowboys stuff on in the stadium, and there was 2 that was like, throwing hands age, and you definitely should not do it if you look like you can throw hands or anything like that, because you will be tried. They were booing and everything. Every time the girl, nobody said nothing to her, and there was this old man that was walking around with Dallas gear all over him, and you were not saying a thing to him. But if you was like my age and look like you could do this, you don't do it. I tell you that, right? Don't do it. So when I was there with my cousin, because that's the only reason why I went, because he's like the golden cousin, the golden member of the family. So I took him with me to the game, and he's actually an Eagles fan. That's the only knock against him. But I was like, let's go, man. Let's go. I took his picture on Instagram at 30 and 13. I was like, let's go, because you could just feel the crowd just doing the Eagle chant and all that stuff going on. I was like, let's get out of here. We got to get out of here. And I took off toward the train, and behind me you could just hear the roar, because they had taken over the stadium again this year like they did last year. The Eagles fans did. So it ended on an even more sour note, should I say? But after calming down, and I let yesterday just happen, I will say that I am completely different. I am completely different. I had been partly won over. I'm still won over by the players. I don't have a bad thing to say about pretty much any player. I'm trying to think, even Cole Beasley. Maybe we move on from Cole soon as possible or whatever, but I don't have a bad word to say about pretty much anybody on the football team on the player level. You can argue about Dak all you want to. It's a stupid argument. You can argue about whatever you want to on the player level. It's a stupid argument in my opinion, and I'm not going to go to it. It's on the coaching level. And that, like I said right after the game, that looked like a playoff game. You go up against another team that is playing extremely well, that is hungry at the same time, and you cannot match wits, and you cannot match intensity with that football team. And we were not ready. We were not ready for that football game. So it was a whole lot of things that brought back a lot of that's why I've been brought back to reality, because I feel normal now. When I saw that performance from Jason Garrett, another Jason Garrett team, I was like, yeah, that's pretty much what they do around this time of the season. So in my mind, which I had given him a lot of credit. I was giving Jason Garrett a lot of credit. I didn't think he was going to know how to use Amari Cooper, and he showed he knew how to use Amari Cooper. But however, in this game, about the Amari Cooper thing. I was saying you don't just get Amari Cooper, put him on your team, and team just automatically start doubling whatever. You got to start hurting teams with Amari Cooper so they can figure out what you're doing, so then they can start doing what they're going to do. This game was like one of the first games where they completely had a scheme against Amari Cooper. So our offense was 10 against 9 and couldn't score. So on the coaching level, I mean, it's still that loss completely wiped out the Saints win and the Philadelphia Eagles win too. Because if it wasn't going to take much to knock off that Philadelphia Eagle. We were very fortunate to beat the Philadelphia Eagles the second time, because if that game had started like this game with that turnover that actually was a turnover for the Philadelphia Eagles, if that game started like that, it could have ended this way as well. So we were very fortunate that way. And the New Orleans Saints game, this wipes it out like I don't know what, because New Orleans is playing like crap. The New Orleans can barely score on Carolina. All that. New Orleans is having their own issues right now, and pretty much everybody. That's why on the player level, I'm not worried about it, because there's nobody out there doing great. I mean, you got Tom Brady that's playing dumb for 2 weeks in a row, and you complaining about that. You know what I'm saying? No matter what, your quarterback is going to make mistakes forever. But on the coaching level, I feel like this is the same things that were going on, because I was saying it during our stream. I was like, wow, it's very incredible that we have missed all those offensive linemen. Frederick, Zach's been out, Tyron's been half. Our offensive line has not been nearly the offensive line that it used to be, but we're still leading the division. That's what Jason Garrett will do for you. He will keep you right here. No matter what your talent is, he will keep you right here unless he loses his quarterback and can't even function. As long as he has a functional quarterback, he will keep you right here. But in a game, when you're going against another person, that's what a lot of people forget about football. It's a game. It's not who has the better players. It's not who can generate the best stats. That's why people who love Andy Reid lose it, because Andy Reid loses with figuring out how to win the game, because that's what when you go deep in the playoffs, it becomes a game. And gamers like Bill Belichick will outgame you and figure things out and out-scheme you and things of that sort, rather than, oh man, I got this player and this player and this player, and we got this many yards this season, we should beat you. That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. So what our coach, Jason Garrett, when you're talking about game, he's proven absolutely nothing. And this year, he must prove that he's a gamer and can go in these high pressure playoff games and win. If he can't, guys, we can't do nothing with him. We can't. Point blank. So that's where my head's at right now. I'll stay in contact with y'all because I ain't got no family here whatsoever. All right, holla at you. Peace.